Hey guys, we are at Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida, and they have finally announced the rest of the houses and scare zones for Halloween Horror Nights. I've had a few people reach out to me and want to know, is Halloween Horror Nights something I can attend even if I'm a scaredy cat and hate haunted houses? Are the scare zones just too intense? Or is it something I can have fun at? Well, spoiler alert, I think that you can have fun even if you never step foot in a haunted house. So I want to take a moment and show you where the scare zones are anticipated to be this year. The very first one that you're going to encounter is right as you walk into the park. Now, I believe this one is going to be based on last year's haunted house, the Wicked Growth Realm of the Pumpkin. They had a pumpkin lord there that was to entrap you in his ever-growing evil. Well, this scare zone is called Horrors of Halloween, and it also has a pumpkin lord, the spirit of Halloween, that's taking over the event, summoning hordes of fetish creatures, and their terror has now taken hold. This is the very first scare zone you'll see when you come into the park, and last year's was really neat, so I anticipate this year's to be pretty amazing as well. So if you go up and hang right by the Today's Cafe and head down in the Hollywood area, just past Bourne, you will find the second scare zone.
Up here in front of Bourne. I don't know what that is. Looks like a cemetery. Nettlewood Cemetery. Take a look.
So we believe that this one is going to be the Deadly Unrest Graveyard, and is described as on All Hallows Eve, a dark storm descends upon a cemetery and awakens long dead spirits. No one living can escape them.
The Graveyard. Deadly Unrest. Here's the rest of the Graveyard Scare Zone. Hey, look, Marilyn's out there. Hey, Betty Boop. Hi. Good morning. Thank you. And Marilyn. Marilyn's out too. So, hey, look, guys. It's Rick Flicks. Hey, what's going on? How are you? Mummy Watch. Yes. Is it going to open today? That's the question. Hey, you heard her from Rick. He's got busy guy. Busy guy. There you go. Hey, sounds like a plan.
Just never know who you might run into here at Universal Studios. So anyway, this scare zone, if you're into Walking Dead or zombies, this is probably the area you're going to find this year. So if you keep walking, you go past the horror makeup show building, past Mel's Diner, and towards the Central Park crepe stand, you will find our third scare zone. So I believe this one is going to be the Scarecrow Cursed Soil scare zone area. And it's described as an abandoned farm where scarecrows have risen from the crust of the earth to hunt you and seek revenge. They'll harvest your screams. So one of the clues, I guess you could say, that shows this is probably going to be Scarecrow Cursed Soil is the eatery that's at the end of the zone, where it has pictures of scarecrows on it. This is what it looked like last year in this area. As you can see, it was pretty dark. There was a lot of lights, a lot of flashing. They had a lot of scare actors that jumped out, but none of them ever touched you. And here with the scaffolding and stuff, it looks like they're going to have several up high. I don't see as many of the scare areas where they're hiding like they did last year in like tree stumps and different things. So I am really curious of what this one's going to look like. If it's anything like last year, it's going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to continue on to the next scare zone. If you walk back towards the Animal Actors Stadium, and then veer left, you will find yourself in the Simpsons area. In the very back of the Simpson area, you will find Men in Black, and just past that is the old Fear Factor Stadium. And this is where Halloween Nightmare Fuel Wildfire will be held this year. And it's described as the show that sparked a firestorm last year is ablaze with a new nightmare. The pyro and aerial performances are back to reignite your fears. Just a word of caution, we did watch this show last year and it was pretty risque, so if you do have little ones, you might want to know that before you go to the show. So keep following the path around, and you will come up on the best part of the Fast and Furious ride, the exit. Haha. Hey, don't hate on me, guys. Just my opinion. And if you rode it, you're probably on the fence to agree with me. But anyway, this is our fourth scare zone. So I believe this is going to be Conjure the Darkness scare zone. And the description for that is on the first All Hallows Eve, an evil sorceress called forth monstrosities from dark dimensions. Now your blood will fuel them.
You can see the ruins, I guess the Nordic, Celtic symbols, something like that. But as you can see out here, it extends all the way out beyond this area. So other than the stage area there, it looks like the actors are going to be out in the middle here with everybody, which is going to make it even more intense of an experience. It'll be a good time.
So in this area last year was Crook TV with the scary Spider Lady, Krampus, the scary Santa Claus, and this guy. We're going to head on down the path to our fifth and final scare zone, but on the way is the Mummy. So let's stop and see if it's open yet. That's been a hot topic that everybody is anticipating, and we're really hoping that it will open in the next couple days so we can ride it.
Well, we're out at the Mummy, and good news or bad news? Well, bad news. Still not open. So when are they going to open? I don't know. What do you think? Today? Tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow? See, this is the beginning of Pass Holder Appreciation Day. This is Monday, the very first day of it. And they're supposed to open, they said late summer. Well, it's quickly approaching late summer. And I would say it should be any day. I was hoping today because I would really like to ride it. But
as we're looking around the Mummy area, we noticed this in the alley that's just kind of catty corner across from it. It looks like an ordering spot or something. So I am not real sure what this place is going to be, but if you have an idea, or maybe even if you really know, leave a comment, let us know. And this is a little cut through between the New York area, and it ends up over, if you take it all the way through, it pops out kind of right in front of the Transformers ride. But it looks like there was some eateries inside. Maybe you can order here, and then it looked like a kind of a mock butcher shop. And then there was some other things in here, maybe for some snow cones or something in the back. So I'm not sure. Is it food service? Is it a secret scare zone? What's it going to be? So the fifth and final scare zone is located in the New York section, which is across from Jimmy Fallon's ride and right in front of the Tribute store, if you know where that's at. If you're having trouble, just find the Rip Ride Rocket and walk towards the back of it, and you will see this scare zone. This one is called Sweet Revenge. The sweets from Major Sweets Candy Company have turned the children into crazed killers. So this Halloween's all trick, no treat, and total mayhem. Not real sure how this scare zone's going to play out and how the scare actors are going to represent it, since the premise is that the candy turns kids into killers. So I'm real curious how they are going to portray the scare zone, but I guarantee if it is anything like what we have normally see at Halloween Horror Nights, you can guarantee it's going to be scary and it's going to be great.
we have a tractor that has crashed into what appears a fair booth of some sort. It's pretty neat. Halloween Bicentennial Hometown Fall Festival and Parade. So here we got the judges booth behind us. Major Sweets Candy Company.
So it's looking like HHN 31 is stacking up just to be as great or better than years past. So if you're one of those people that you really would like to come, but you hate being scared, well, I do have a word of advice for you. Try to come as soon as they open. It's still daylight. Things are not near as scary while it's still light. You can walk around, you can see all the scare zones. You're not in the haunted houses, and you can kind of acclimate yourself to the area a little bit before it gets dark. And then, if nothing else, if you want to leave, you can. But I'm going to tell you, unlike other haunted houses and places where the actors are allowed to touch you or grab you or poke you, they will not do that here. They're not allowed to touch you at all. So if you're walking around the scare zone, they might follow you or they might walk towards you, but they're not going to touch you. So if you don't like haunted houses, but you really want to come to Halloween Horror Nights, you can have a great experience and have what I feel just as much fun. Walking around the scare zones, trying out a lot of the food, and they are going to have a lot of themed food. I've seen booths all over the park ready to go for this themed food that they have. There are a couple shows that you can watch as well. The Halloween Nightmare Fuel Wildfire that is back in the old Fear Factor area next to Men in Black, and Ghoulish, Halloween Tale, which is their light and water show that's located up across from the Transformers building in that lagoon area. So whether or not you enjoy haunted houses, you can still have a great time here with the food, the shows, and just the atmosphere in general. They even have a lot of merchandise out, so you can brag to your friends how you got to go to Halloween Horror Nights and see it all, but just leave out the part where you didn't go into the houses. If you would like to see some of the haunted houses, but you don't want to go in during the event, they have a behind the screens tour. And I took that last year looking at some of the houses, and it's really neat to go see. They show you a lot of tips and tricks about what the scare actors are doing, what to look for, and how they make it so scary and so realistic sounding all the time. If you've never done that, I would highly recommend going and taking a tour behind the screens. It's really interesting to see how all of this comes together. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. Help us get our content to even more people.